Stay till the end, because only then will you understand the shocking truth behind Marie Osmond's unbelievable journey. What happened to her face may look like a Hollywood mystery, but the real story runs much deeper, through fame, pain, and survival. Marie Osmond was born on October 13, 1959, in Ogden, Utah, the only daughter among 9 children. Her parents, George and Olive, were already struggling, raising 2 deaf sons with little money. Doctors had warned them not to have more children, but when Marie was born healthy, her parents believed it was a miracle. Yet the financial pressure never disappeared, and her childhood was far from ordinary. Her father, a former army man, ran the house like a military camp. By age 3, Marie's days were filled with rehearsals, music drills, and strict discipline. While other kids were coloring or playing outside, she was memorizing Swedish songs for European tours. Her childhood wasn't about fun, it was about survival. By 1963, the family was broke, forced to mortgage their farm and move to Los Angeles. At just 4 years old, Marie performed on The Andy Williams Show. For the audience, it was cute. For Marie, it was a job. She worked 18-hour days, squeezed between rehearsals and lessons, with producers even criticizing her weight before she could read. That moment marked the beginning of her lifelong struggle with body image. By 14, she had her first solo hit, Paper Roses. It was a dream come true, but not her dream. Music executives pushed her to sing songs meant for adults, reshaping her into a product, not an artist. She was a child carrying the weight of an empire, and by 16, the pressure nearly destroyed her voice. This was only the beginning of Marie's battle between fame and survival. By 1976, the world saw a bright teenage girl hosting Donnie and Marie, but behind that smile was a storm no one could imagine. At just 16, Marie was carrying a television empire on her shoulders. Nearly 14 million viewers tuned in each week, watching balloons fall from the ceiling as she sang with her brother. But while the cameras captured glamour, behind the scenes, Marie's body and mind were breaking. Producers told her she was too fat, at 103 pounds. They demanded she lose more, dragging her into parking lots and calling her names no teenager should ever hear. Desperate to keep the show alive, she starved herself, her weight dropping to 93 pounds. She fainted from exhaustion, her body collapsing under the pressure. Still, she smiled for the audience, believing she had no choice but to keep going. The show looked like a dream, but cracks began to show. Ratings slipped, and by 1979, the fairy tale was ending. Marie was left with more than canceled contracts. She was left with scars. Binge eating, fasting, and an obsession with her body haunted her for decades. The glittering stage had stolen her youth and replaced it with trauma. Yet Marie refused to vanish. She tried acting, starring in a Christmas film, and even attempting Broadway. The critics were harsh, calling her talent shallow, but Marie didn't give up. Years later, she returned to Broadway with The King and I, finally earning some praise, though she admitted the wounds of rejection never fully healed. Then came an unexpected rebirth. In 1985, she launched her comeback in country music with There's No Stopping Your Heart. Her duet Meet Me in Montana soared to #1, proving that despite the pain, Marie Osmond wasn't finished. She was only getting started. By the mid-1980s, Marie Osmond had rebuilt herself from the ashes of criticism. Her comeback album, There's No Stopping Your Heart, brought her back to the top of the charts, and suddenly, she wasn't just a child star anymore. She was a woman with her own voice. Touring across America, she performed hundreds of shows, sometimes scraping mud from her shoes in farm towns, reminding everyone she was willing to work harder than anyone else. But Marie was more than just a singer. In 1986, she stepped into business and launched her porcelain doll line on QVC. Unlike many celebrity products, this was personal. She designed each doll herself, and the response was explosive. One sold over 3 million units in just 15 minutes. Over time, her doll empire earned her more than $50 million, proving she wasn't just a performer. She was a savvy entrepreneur. Her professional life looked golden, but her personal world was falling apart. Her first marriage to basketball player Stephen Craig had ended quickly in 1985. A year later, she married music producer Brian Blosel, building what looked like a picture-perfect family with 7 children. Behind closed doors, though, Marie battled depression. After the birth of her son Matthew in 1999, she disappeared for 3 days, overwhelmed and broken. Medication numbed her feelings, but it didn't erase the darkness. Then tragedy struck harder than ever. In 2010, her adopted son Michael took his own life at just 18. His final words, "I have no friends," haunted Marie forever. The pain was so deep that she questioned everything, even her faith. Yet, against all odds, in 2011 she remarried her first husband, Stephen Craig, in a small Las Vegas ceremony. Wearing her original 1982 wedding dress, it was a bittersweet symbol of survival and healing. After enduring personal heartbreaks, Marie Osmond found a new chapter waiting in Las Vegas. In 2008, she reunited with her brother Donnie for a residency at the Flamingo Hotel. What was supposed to last 6 weeks turned into an astonishing 11-year run, with more than 1,700 shows. Night after night, the siblings danced, joked, and sang for packed audiences, reminding the world why the Osmond name still mattered. The chemistry between Donnie and Marie lit up the stage, but what the crowd didn't see was how much it took for Marie to keep performing. Behind the lights, her health battles grew worse. She spoke openly about her struggles with body image, even fainting during rehearsals. But instead of hiding, she used her story to inspire others, becoming a spokesperson for Nutrisystem and shedding weight publicly. For fans, it wasn't just about her transformation. It was about seeing her fight demons that had haunted her since her teenage years. Television also welcomed her back. Marie joined the talk as a co-host in 2019, bringing her warmth and humor into millions of living rooms. While the panel show brought new visibility, Marie admitted she often felt torn between her career and her children. Still, she remained a voice of resilience, balancing both as best she could. By the late 2010s, critics who once dismissed her had begun to call her one of entertainment's most enduring survivors. Whether it was country hits, best-selling dolls, Broadway, or Las Vegas, she had reinvented herself time and again. Every reinvention carried scars, but also strength. Audiences who grew up watching her as a teenager now admired her as a woman who had endured loss, depression, and rejection, yet still stood tall in the spotlight. Today, Marie Osmond stands not just as a performer, but as a symbol of resilience. Her life has been filled with dizzying highs and crushing lows, yet she has always found a way to rise again. Few entertainers have navigated such extremes: child stardom, brutal criticism, failed marriages, mental health struggles, and devastating loss, yet still managed to command stages across the world for over 5 decades. Her success in country music and her Las Vegas residency cemented her place as one of the most recognizable faces in American entertainment. But it was her ventures outside music that proved her determination even more. The porcelain doll business she created became one of the most successful celebrity product lines in history, turning her into a multi-millionaire entrepreneur. She showed that survival wasn't just about applause, it was about reinvention. Despite her fame, Marie has always spoken about the cost of survival. Losing her son Michael remains the deepest wound of her life. Instead of hiding it, she has used her platform to talk about mental health, hoping to prevent other families from experiencing the same heartbreak. Her openness made her relatable to fans who once only saw her as a flawless star. Even now, at over 60, Marie continues to perform, create, and inspire. She has embraced her role as a storyteller, unafraid to share the unpolished truth behind the glitter. Her journey reminds us that behind every perfect stage smile may be a story of pain, but also strength. From the little girl America fell in love with, to a woman who has rebuilt herself time and time again, Marie Osmond's life is proof that survival is not about avoiding storms. It's about learning to dance in the rain.